That is a departure from what you said in the past about violence on TV. I can name 4 instances where you said the opposite or a time when you even disagreed with yourself, almost literally.
That is like the pot calling the kettle black. As we always said, if you do not offer a good deal, you will be the one who loses.
There's never been a more critical time. Fox News Media brings America together. America is watching. News and fearless debate. We're invested in you. From Wall Street to Main Street to your street.
We have a breaking news update. The longtime host of the O'Reilly Factor is with sadness that I announced Bill O'Reilly was arrested for DUI as he left an NFL arena, a place he visited to engage in a fact-finding and investigation mission. Bill O'Reilly has always investigated the scene before delivering a well-thought broadcast here at Fox. Today, Bill was framed after being given an edible laced donut. When the marijuana kicked in, Bill stood up, turned around, and was about to give a lecture to the girl who gave him the cannabis edible. She was not there. Beginning to panic, Bill decided to disconnect by leaving the NFL arena to drive home. On the way home, and without probable cause, Bill was pulled over. Now, for legal reasons, I cannot discuss what happened after he was pulled over. But know this, we are starting an investigation to see who you are. We will find you, and we will catch you framing Bill O'Reilly. We are now switching to a live feed of Bill O'Reilly at the courthouse, where he will now speak to a judge. Here is the feed now.
We got a phone call prior to you driving and a second call to dispatch where I will read now. He is swerving across the lanes and looked bloodshot. Do you know how hard it is to tell if someone is bloodshot just from looking through the passenger window? Very much bloodshot. I am issuing a condition of release where
Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
I've been an American for over 74 years. I basically did service right after I could stand, and it has persisted to the present. My contributions to this nation are why a news channel like Fox is proud to have me on.
That is not pertinent. You say you serviced for over 74 years, and that does not negate the substances you were on while driving. What were you on?
If I may add?
No, I already said you can speak. What were you on?
I was in my car.
The court knows you were in your car. I am going to have to ask for a substance evaluation because you are appearing incoherent. Good evening, Bill. We ran a toxicology report and we found traces of alprazolam, a high concentration of marijuana, and Vicodin. We have also discovered in our test, in which another test was run, that you are HIV positive.
Objection. Counsel asked the court to keep O'Reilly's medical history private.
Why do you talk like that?
Talk like what?
The court asks you refrain from making any more comments. Your microphone will be removed and the court will ask you to remain silent. O'Reilly, the court is being televised as we speak, and please refrain from any comments made during this proceeding as it will be broadcast to local syndicated stations. I am concerned with the levels of substances found in your blood. Bail and impose an ROR. You are now under house arrest and can no longer drive. You can only drive to work and medical appointments. What this means, you can only drive to Fox News for work. Should you exhibit good behavior, the court at its discretion can rescind the conditions of release.
We have to also take into account that...
Why are you speaking? The court does not recognize for you to speak. We have concluded today's arraignment. Bill O'Reilly, you are free to leave this court. Take note. Unless you are driving to Fox or to a medical location, you are not allowed to drive your car or leave your house. The court will determine you do not need an ankle monitor. Your Fourth Amendment rights have been waived and your home is subject to an inspection at any time from the county sheriffs. Goodbye. Why are you giving me that look? Sorry. I am now adding a new motion. From here on, O'Reilly is prohibited from discussing in the media about his arrest or authoring a book on this particular case. With that said, the court is satisfied with the decisions it has made. You have the right to appeal, but not a guarantee you will win. Please escort O'Reilly off the court premises and please remind him about the terms of his release.
A time frame that is really unprecedented.
Do you take responsibility?
Even the Republicans agree that Clarence Thomas is not worth saving if his career plummets. The second African American to serve on the highest court of the land after Thurgood Marshall was Clarence. Now, we have a far more vivid view of what the Supreme Court justice is like, contrary to their mostly private theme. The first thing I bring up that we have to mention, Clarence Thomas pays $10,000 per flight hour. This sum of money and a private jet was given to Clarence as a gift. Clarence used this private jet a total of 629 times in just 1 year. There have been trips that made 0 cents. For example, Clarence Thomas flew 300 miles all the way to the Kingdom of Bahrain just to see Basil for a few moments. Fearing people will discover his waste of a time trip, Thomas then met the King of Bahrain, who has ties to the monarchy in Saudi Arabia, which is responsible for the Yemen genocide, a topic not mentioned enough in the news. Only Israel is discussed in the news because they are Jewish. Only Israel is a state the size of New Jersey is chastised and harassed. Only Israel is a country that is condemned for defending itself. Only Israel, a safe haven for the highest levels of democracy, can be a victim of Jew. I am still not done. Only Israel, a nation that defended itself from the second genocide shortly after the first Holocaust. Only Israel won the war in which the entire Middle East ganged up on Israel. Only Israel defended itself in 1967 after the Arab armies attacked it. Only in Israel where there are doctors that treat non-Jews. Only Israel that sends Israeli taxpayers' money to Gaza.
Good evening, Rachel Maddow. I didn't do the DUI. It is a pleasure to connect with you from Jerusalem.
Haha, you connected with us before even the introduction. Now, are we connected to you or are you connected to me?
Whatever you say, Rachel. But don't start a quarrel already. We are in the middle of one right now. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
Did you eat a chili? What was that?
Netanyahu, it was so glad to have you on the show. It wasn't until the actions of King David of Judea that it was foretold the Jews had the right to a state. It used to only be in a dream that the Jews would have a right to their own state. The House of David was not only significant because it was dedicated to King David, but it also underlined the notion of Jews having a homeland, their own state. In the biblical narrative of the books of Samuel, David is described as a young shepherd and harpist who gains fame and becomes a hero by killing Goliath. This was a thought-provoking interview, and I wish you the best in life and your war against the genocidal organization Hamas. I think he just made a threat. Sorry, what? Are we still live?
We have a very special guest here, the host of the O'Reilly Factor. Bill O'Reilly, it is so nice to have you on here. Good morning.
Morning, Howard.
I enjoyed your investigational story on corrupt judges. We are going to do a rerun and show the feed now. This was from 2 days ago.
Tonight will be a very special story. In just a few minutes, I will be covering an investigation I did on corrupt and illegal judges. The judicial branch, the weakest branch of the government, is not the only one who are capable of wrongdoing. Sometimes it comes from the lower courts. We saw this happen when Trump was tried by Judge Gonzalo Curiel and many others. Trump was wrongfully convicted of dozens of charges, a felon. He is now a convicted felon. Who decided on him? One person. This judicial officer failed the public. I refer to him as a judicial officer because he is a judge by name only. After Trump was targeted, the judiciary has now focused on me, a longtime friend of President Donald Trump. As Justice Thomas once said, the court needs to absolve itself of judiciary activism and continue its duty of upholding the Constitution.
Fantastic speech by Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, I am a liberal who votes Republican because of stuff like that. Yeshua, you got the case nailed down, but how do you defend it?
It was proven from the toxicology report and drug testing I was on only Xanax bars, marijuana, and Vicodin. That was false. All I had in my system was marijuana from the cannabis-based edible.
But the court did a blood draw, and there was one at the station. I get it, you were given a laced edible. But how do you explain the Xanax and Vicodin?
I would like to give an answer, but my attorney has asked me not to discuss this aspect of the case, and I have to listen. It would be foolish in order for me.
Good evening, Mr. O'Reilly. Do you know why I am here?
Fuck you and fuck your mother O'Reilly for that laced MDMA pill back in 1996.
Yeah, I still remember that. Mr. O'Reilly, do you know why I am here? In fact, I will tell you why I am here. You have failed to meet the conditions of your release. What this means is I am revoking your bail and will demand you turn yourself in at the county sheriff's police station by 7 p.m. The time right now is 4:32 p.m. Should you fail to surrender yourself to the station, a warrant for your arrest will be issued. You were told not to leave your house for non-work related purposes. You did not break the law by discussing the case with the media, as close as it was. You did not contravene that part of the conditions of release. Again, you did not breach the terms of bail for hosting an interview, though I am concerned you were close. I am revoking your bail. I clearly said you may not leave your house unless it is for work or medical visits. Bill, I am very disappointed in you. I was generous to the point where I gave you a deal, a relieving one at that. You do not set a good example and image for the American people, and I am concerned you will use your platform to promote material that is considered non-reflective of the values of this court. Excuse me?
I was talking to Bill.
I am getting tired of this. Mr. Howard Stern, I am issuing a warrant for your arrest that will be effective by the end of this session. You are being charged with contempt of court. You stated you indulged in MDMA, a controlled substance. You are now required to turn yourself in at 7 p.m. today. The time right now is 4:34. However, due to your good character and your prosperity to justice by ensuring Bill O'Reilly continues to adhere to the terms of release, I am hereby revoking your arrest warrant. This will not go on your record. I ask you do not speak unless the court indicates it so.
Mr. Robert, how are you?
I am good, thank you.
The last time we were here was the one where I got kicked out. I didn't get kicked out, you left.
You didn't get kicked out, I left.
Yeah, the one where you ended the interview very close to its ending. I've done research and asked for advice from professionals who are in this field who suggested that I stay away from controversial topics.
Okay.
After studying effective ways of conveying speech in media, I have taken a whole new approach. The action of interviewing is one that respects the other side without the intention of being crass. We still were crass because I brought up your relatively unknown. Have I learned from that?
Well, what needs working on are some of the flaws you have, which is this. You have a lot of respect for other people, but no respect for yourself.
Yeah, I do. I give out a tremendous amount of respect to others. This is something I still need to work with. But continue, please.
Second, you need to have confidence in yourself in your chair. No one likes an interviewer reluctantly asking questions they are too scared to ask. 3, you are meek. Try to be a bit more sharper and look after your own interests instead of those around you.
Thank you for the compliment, Robert Downey Jr. It is something I need assistance with and can also understand how this may negatively impact my interviews. So, what is the daily life of the Iron Man star?
The Iron Man star? Is that a constellation, or are you being passive-aggressive with referencing me?
Oh, sorry for that.
Yeah, you also apologize way too much.
Sorry, that's not my intention.
There, you did it again.
Sorry again?
You are fucking with me. This guy is so fucking with me.
We are going to bring in the troll face.
Whoa, you have to be honest, Robert, here. He so got you.
Yeah, well, it was a small piece. Not much was said around other than what was talked about before the interview.
What was talked about before the interview?
You know, stuff like that. They would say we are aiming for 15 minutes of footage. It centered around what we would talk about and pre-interview questions.
Did you bring in an 8-ball, or is that hair?
Heroin. Now, please do not bring this up again. I don't want the listeners to hear.
Your listeners were listening. Good evening, Mr. Robert Downey Jr.
Who the fuck are you?
My name is Judge Macintosh. You will no longer use profanities during this proceeding. You just admitted moments ago to bringing in a quantity of heroin.
Fuck you and fuck your mother, Robert, for telling Elon Musk I had a micro-penis.
Are you out of breath, Mr. Howard Stern? I am going to ask you to stay in the view of the camera for the duration of this proceeding. I am dismissing court for recess. This means the court is pausing deliberations for a specified amount of time.
Damn, so tell me, man, what is the most illegal thing you've done?
When I was younger, I downloaded copyrighted material.
So, man, what are your thoughts on the Robert Downey Jr. interview?
Interview?
Yeah.
What was that? That sound you made, what was that?
Come on, man, you visited the studio. It's bring your own.
I'm still thinking, what was that?
Well, I am a little sloppy.
So what do you want to talk about?
We want to talk about what you did in New Zealand last summer. Krishnan, this is Judge Macintosh. After conducting an investigation, we have discovered you visited New Zealand last summer and served as an accessory to copyright infringement.
Oh, sorry. The U.S. declared independence a very long time ago. I'm afraid I have nothing to do with this.
You say that, but let me read a document. I'm here. In 2003, the United Kingdom of Great Britain has agreed to a deal on the execution of extradition. On 30 September 2006, the U.S. Senate unanimously ratified the treaty. This treaty paves a path for me to extract you from Great Britain and go with the rules of this court.
I don't think you're getting it. The United States is not a world police state. As said again, I am sorry, I truly am, but I have nothing to do with this case. Goodbye.
He truly thinks he's clever. Balif, please call the State Department so I can be routed to the British government.
They want to know why?
Tell them we are in the process of capturing a well-known fugitive.
Okay, will do.
King Charles.
Hello, Majesty of Great Britain. This is Judge Macintosh. We recently had a run-in with one of your citizens. I think you know him very well. His name is Krishnan Guru. During the course of an investigation which was launched by a U.S. private citizen here, we have discovered Krishnan has traveled overseas to engage in copyright theft. While Krishnan may have traveled to or seek refuge in a non-U.S. territory, he will not be allowed to escape justice.
1 minute, Macintosh.
Hello, this is 999. What is your emergency?
Hello, this is Judge Macintosh from the Southern District of California. During a remote proceeding with one of your citizens, he absconded a DWT hearing by invoking his British citizenship in contravention of the 2003 Extradition Act.
Okay, do you need an ambulance?